Giorgio's mechanic?
Was that Giorgio then presented a demo.
It started with a Ferrari brake job. Giorgio Moroder, the legendary composer behind hits like Flashdance. What a Feeling pulled into a garage in Los Angeles. His Ferrari needed work. The mechanic that day? A young guy named Tom Whitlock. What Giorgio didn't know was that Tom wasn't just good with cars, he also wrote lyrics. And as fate would have it, Giorgio was looking for words.
Pulls a man in a red Ferrari and asks if I could help him with his brakes. And I did, and his name was Giorgio Moroder, and we became fast friends. He started calling me up quite frequently.
At that time, the producers of Top Gun were putting together the soundtrack. They already had the instrumentals locked down, especially the soaring Top Gun anthem, but they needed two vocal songs, one fast, one slow, a rock track to match the jets, and a love song to match the heat. Giorgio tried. He delivered two demos.
Composed and recorded two songs which Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson didn't like, so I was a little disappointed. Then I composed the song called Danger Zone, and the producers were very interested.
Both were rejected. Then came Danger Zone. The producers liked it, but they didn't have a singer. Bryan Adams passed. He didn't want to be involved with something that seemed overly militaristic. Toto was asked, but only the vocals would be used, not the band's full arrangement. That didn't sit right, so they pulled out too. Eventually, it landed with Kenny Loggins.
Had dropped out of the project, and they needed a singer for a song. So I said, well, is it up-tempo? And they said, yeah, it's up-tempo. I said, I'll do it, because I needed some rock and roll for my show. And it turned out to be Danger Zone.
And Danger Zone took off.
The second song I delivered was the Take My Breath Away song.
But there was still the matter of the love song. That's when Giorgio handed Tom Whitlock a cassette, two instrumental demos. Danger Zone was one. The other was something slower, more haunting. Its working title, Take My Breath Away.
The track one day and then came in and made a few changes, and as I drove home this direction, I wrote the lyric.
Giorgio said, go home, write something. So Tom did. He played the demo on repeat in his car. Giorgio had already picked the title. That was non-negotiable. So Tom built everything around those 4 words. Within 2 days, he brought back the finished lyrics. Now they needed a voice. They tried Martha Davis from the Motels.
I was working a lot at Giorgio's studio, Giorgio Moroder, and I got a call from him saying, would I like to sing this new song that he had? And I said, sure, send it over. And so they brought it over, and I listened to it, and I went, that's a hit. There's a lot of spec stuff in the music business where you go out and you'll just do, maybe something will happen. So it was just kind of one of those things, maybe something will happen. And something did happen, not to me, but
She loved the song, recorded a version, and thought it would be a hit. But nothing moved forward. Then Giorgio remembered Terri Nunn from Berlin. He had worked with her before. He sent over the track. She stepped into the studio and gave it a shot. What she delivered was meant to be a placeholder, a demo vocal.
I never went in the studio, I never heard it, I never played on it, I never had anything to do with it.
Giorgio planned to replace it with a more famous voice later. But then he heard her version, and something clicked.
It was kind of stiff. I had nothing to lose, so I just sang it the way I wanted to, and I just kind of elongated it a little bit. I just wanted it to be more fluid.
He scrapped the plan for a new vocalist. Terri's voice stayed. It wasn't perfect, but it was powerful. She added emotion that the original melody lacked. Instead of singing it straight, she stretched certain notes, let others linger. She made it breathe. The rest of Berlin? They had no idea this was happening. None of them played on the track.
And I had not gotten laid in 4 years.
I never went in the studio, I never heard it, I never played on it, I never had anything to do with it.
I think there are people that have no idea what it's talking about. So that's all you've done? Boys, we are rushing.
None of them wrote a word, and they wouldn't even hear the final song until the movie premiered. It was, for all intents and purposes, a Berlin song without Berlin. But Columbia Records wanted it released under their name.
So this was added later. This was not in the original version of the movie. The previous scene was, but this is all new. We had a long enough scene finally to be able to use it and put the lyrics in, because they're always talking.
It made sense. The label was distributing the Top Gun soundtrack. Berlin was already signed to them, and if the film hit, which everyone knew it would, having a featured single would be massive. The decision was made. Take My Breath Away would appear on Berlin's next album, whether the band liked it or not.
Giorgio Moroder was the original producer and writer of the song that influenced the bass line and the sound for Sex, I'm Up. If you listen to I Feel Love by Donna Summer, the bass line is just the same 3 notes reversed. I just stole it, basically. His riff goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and mine goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I did that on purpose. I'm not, everyone knows I've never lied about it.
When Top Gun premiered, it was clear they'd made the right call. At least commercially, the movie was a smash, and the song exploded. Take My Breath Away soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It topped charts around the world, the UK, Ireland, the Netherlands, and when Oscar night rolled around, it took home Best Original Song.
Nomination for the song. The Academy Award people called and said, well, we want you to come sing the song on the show. And I said, in my 23-year-old egoed out way, well, I want to sing the whole song. And they said, well, no, we're not doing that. We're doing a medley. You're going to do a verse and chorus, and then the next song is going to do their verse and chorus, and it'll be a medley of all the nominated songs. And I said, well, I'm not doing it. And they said, okay, thank you. And to this day, I regret it. I regret it mostly for my mother, because she wanted so much to see that, and then it won.
The producers even added a new romantic scene into the movie just so they could play the full track without interruption. That's how much they believed in it. But for Berlin, the success was complicated. Their new album, Count 3 and Pray, sounded nothing like the love ballad that now defined them.
It was a little hard for me because I think my ego was hurt a little bit because Berlin had been struggling finding an identity. I mean, we had reached this point, I had no clue. At that point in time in my life, and as an egotistical musician, it was a lot easier to say, oh, that's commercial garbage, than I suck, I can't do that.
Berlin was an edgy, synth-heavy band. Take My Breath Away was a polished, cinematic, slow burn. It didn't fit. Some in the group embraced the success. They knew it meant bigger tours, global exposure. Others felt like passengers in someone else's car. They hadn't written it, they hadn't played on it. Yet now they were expected to play it night after night and pretend it was theirs. And when the Oscars came calling, inviting Terri to perform the song live during the ceremony, her response came from a place of youth and pride. She said she'd only do it if she could sing the entire song, not just a verse and chorus as part of a medley.
Right now, but that's one of the nails in the coffin that happened for the band. It was a catch-22, Take My Breath Away, because it was #1, but at the same time, we were already having problems in the band, and this was like, oh my God, half the band was, oh, we're gonna have to play this for the rest of our lives now because it's the biggest song we've ever had, damn it. And the other half, which I was in, was, yeah, it's a great song, and now we get to go to China, and we get to go to Europe, and this is great. And
the Academy said no. She declined. They moved on. Years later, she'd call it one of her biggest regrets. especially for her mom, who had wanted nothing more than to see her daughter on that stage. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the band was already fracturing. Creative disagreements, egos, a sense of being pushed in directions they never signed up for. The song made them and unmade them. For some, it was a golden ticket. For others, it was the beginning of the end. The band toured Europe with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, a highlight in an otherwise tense time. But by then, things were coming undone. Take My Breath Away had taken over everything, and they weren't sure who they were anymore. Some band members saw it as a blessing, a song that opened doors. Others saw it as a curse, a song that didn't represent them, but overshadowed everything else they did. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Take My Breath Away won an Oscar, a Golden Globe, and became one of the most iconic songs of the 1980s. But it also helped drive the band that performed it apart. It was never meant to be a Berlin song, but it became their biggest. It was written by a mechanic-turned-lyricist, sung by a vocalist who never expected to be the final voice, and loved by millions who may never know the drama behind it. Today, it's hard to imagine Top Gun without it. The slow-motion kiss, the blue tones, the aching synths, it's all locked in. But behind that perfect sound was a story of compromise, conflict, and unexpected glory. Not every hit is a win. Not every success feels like one. But some songs, no matter how they're made, last forever. This was Track Tales. And if you love stories like this one, don't forget to check out our episode on November Rain. We'll see you next time.